having the opportunity to debate tonight. Most of us are not that. Most of the entrepreneurs and the people that become entrepreneurs someday are not that. And that's what this bill, this initiative is about. It is about you and whether you believe that we together can attract and retain the kind of talent, the entrepreneurial talent, as I look around this room, that I see, and in many cases know, that are working hard at well below market wages to create innovative products, to create innovative companies, to grow jobs, and help the future of our state's economy. That is the issue that's at stake here by putting in flawed policy that even our own State Department of Commerce acknowledges is a critical selling point. Even our own governor, who's now flip-flopped on this issue, knows it's a critical selling point, not only to attracting companies, but to attracting the talent that creates the virtuous cycle of innovation that will help our state compete and grow in the future.
So can I address that? A couple of things. So if it's true that imposing an income tax in this state will scare away innovation and all the rich people, then it must also be true that the fact that we don't presently have it would have brought in a landslide of them. And yet it's not true, right? Like, I do a lot of recruiting. I've run a mess of technology companies. Try dynamiting somebody out of a high-tax place like Silicon Valley, right? It's super hard. Leonardo DiCaprio, George Clooney have not fled Hollywood to the Highlands, where I live, to escape the high taxes there. And the most interesting thing about this debate is that it is a clash of ideas about the nature of economics and society. And I would urge you to consider the possibility that the efficient market hypothesis that undergirds all of these arguments, that insists that there must be a zero-sum relationship between business and government, and that the way to increase business is to limit government, is a relic of 19th century thinking. Our economy is an ecosystem, and to assert that limiting taxes will improve business is exactly the same, literally the same, as asserting that limiting plants will create more animals. Now, people used to believe that, believe it or not, in the 19th century, that if you limited plants, you'd get more animals. But it turns out not to be true because they are in symbiosis. And the way to create more animals is to create more plants. The public sphere is as essential to the creation of wealth in a democratic society as the private sphere. They are inextricably intertwined. And the degree to which we have, as citizens, the capacity to invest strategically in the public sphere defines our ability to create wealth for ourselves and for fellow citizens.
So what you notice here is that Nick, who keeps trying to frame things for us rather than try to...
Well, I get to say something in a minute by interrupting.
I think, Nick, were you done?
If you give me that chance, I will feel good.
I want to
If
make
I
sure.
want to interrupt, it's like you did.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay,
Right ahead.
no, is,
That's
Nick,
all right.
No,
I'll save my point.
I'm done. But I just would urge you to consider the possibility that this zero-sum way of thinking that has dominated American political and economic thinking for generations, and that is at the heart of all the conventional wisdom about how you efficiently organize a society, is just dead wrong. And that there's another much more productive way to think about it, which is to get these two things in symbiosis.
okay, super, thank you. Matt?
Nick, why don't you try to articulate your case versus trying to misrepresent ours? Our case is actually a bigger pie theory. And it's a bigger pie theory that's backed up by facts. The states that are introducing income taxes over the years have slower economic growth, slower job creation, and lower tax revenue growth. States like ours that have a state income tax are above the national average and far superior on all those fronts. Because we care about education, because we care about the opportunities and the competitiveness of the state, we're advocating against 1098. And it is wrong and irresponsible for people to misrepresent it otherwise.
Okay, so by the way, before I ask the next question, I want to make sure that if you're a technology leader or you want to ask a question of these gentlemen, that you come up and take advantage of this opportunity. But